This is how to worship.
Philip has a missionary. Number text. But you will receive power when the Holy Spirit comes to you, and you will be my witness in Jerusalem, and in the Judea and Samaria, and to the end of the world. Acts 1 verse 8. World missions was the main concern of the risen Christ during the 40 days between his crucifixion and ascension. The New Testament preserve at least 5 of his Great Commission statements. Okay, Matthew, Luke, Mark, John, Acts. Together, they constitute the greatness assignment ever given in Christians. Among the commands was a geographical Samaria for mission outreach.
I can't redo that now because it's on low battery 18%.
Okay. From this Jerusalem base to Judea and Samaria, then ultimately to the end of the earth. This was the command that they indeed took seriously and set out.
Before you see them all worship, this is the room.
Geographical strategy
This is the room. This is not your method. This is the bathroom.
And the evangelist. According to Acts 8, his work extends outward from Jerusalem in expanding circles. Then it kept spreading further and further as time progressed. Who was this Philip, the evangelist? What does the Word of God tell us about him and the work that he did during the earliest days of the church? Finally, what lessons can we take away for ourselves from the inspirational records of this early missionary?
This is my grandma. And this is my mom.
We do not look at the things which are seen, but the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporary, but the things which are not seen are eternal. 2 Corinthians 4:18. Think about what Paul is saying here, especially as we study this week about Philip the evangelist, someone of whom we know little except for a few references in the Bible. As we will see, though Philip did a good work, even though most of what he accomplished we know little about, who are some people whom you know of whom they has done great things for God, but with little outward recognition? Why is it always important to keep the principle of Philip's words in mind, especially if we do a work that does not garner much? If we do a work that doesn't garner much attraction or attention. See 2 Corinthians 4:13. I'm going to read your name. Continue reading.
Continue reading.
Philip was a popular Greek name that means horse lover. Really? You mean horse lover? Mm-hmm. In the New Testament, there are 4 persons called by that name. The 2 had the additional name Herod and was part of the Herodian ruling family, which exerted a generally harsh rule over Israel in the New Testament times. The remaining Philip had an outstanding role in mission. The first Philip of Bethsaida was a disciple who was instrumental in bringing Nathanael to Jesus. Later he taught Greeks to Jesus. The second Philip was designated evangelist in Acts 2:21-18 to distinguish him from Philip's disciples. His first appearance in the Jerusalem church as a table writer who turned evangelist and missionary. Acts 8:12. His missionary service extended over 20 years and is supplemented by 4 prophesying daughters. It's mentioned in Acts. We know little else of his background. It was Philip who preached the gospel in Samaria. It was Philip who had the courage to baptize the Ethiopian eunuch. For a time, the history of those two workers, Philip and Paul, had been closely intertwined. It was the violent persecution of Saul and the Pharisees that had scattered the church of Jerusalem and destroyed the effectiveness of the organization of 7 deacons. The flight from Jerusalem had led Philip to change his manner of labor, and resulted in his pursuing the same calling as Paul gave his life. Precious hours were these that Paul and Philip spent in each other's society. Thrilling were the memories that they recalled, the days when the light which